So I'm Trish Crist. I'm the CEO here. This is my 3rd anniversary this week, and time has flown, and I thank you all for a lovely 3 years. A lot of things have changed, and I think as our previous board chair, Joel Sullivan, would say, it's kind of great that there's not 100 people in this room upset about something or worried that NECAT's about to close, which was the way things were 2012, 2013-ish, I think. And so now you guys are hopefully happily making your TV shows and enjoying the resources that we have for you here, and you're not worried about any of those things being taken away. So that makes me happy. I do want to share a little bit of sad news that I know some of you know already, that our dear Joan Warner, probably the most prolific NECAT producer maybe in the history of NECAT, went into a live hospice about 10 days ago and unfortunately passed away yesterday morning. I don't know the full story, and I couldn't really share it even if I did, but I know it was cancer, and I know that within a month of her even being aware anything was even wrong, she passed away within a month of finding out anything was even wrong. And so I think we'll be sending her obituary around in a member newsletter and so forth, but just some things about Joan that are kind of amazing. She produced more than 4 TV series, but 4 that were ongoing and prolific. 136 episodes aired in the 4 years that she's been a producer here. And I'm not great at math, but I did it on a calculator, and that averages to about 1 every week and a half. I can't even count how many people she brought to NECAT to become members and technicians and guests on her shows and run crew on her shows, and how many questions she asked all of us over the 4 years that she was a member here, because she wanted everything right, she wanted it perfect, and she did exactly what a NECAT producer is meant to do: speaker mind and share it with others. So we're sorry to hear that news about Joan. Ordinarily, I would say, let's let the board introduce themselves, but we only have 1 board member here tonight, and you already know him because he used to work here at NECAT. Do you want to sort of explain how you came to be where you are now?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
Hello, everybody. My name is John Ferguson. So, obviously, I don't know how much of my backstory you guys are aware of, but obviously I started working here for the organization that used to be NECAT called MEAC, and we just did channels 9 and 10, and those are the arts and education stations. And then I kind of just molded into the organization that it kind of, NECAT, it was kind of formed into, and then I kind of transitioned into the government side of things and dealing with the technical, the equipment and making sure that all the equipment is working so that everybody can operate it and all that. And so now, close to, I guess, 7 years later, I'm still here, and we're getting better every single year. And so I'm happy to be advancing the studio, to be advancing, helping NECAT grow, and now I'm primarily working over at Channel 3, the government station, with Chris Singleton over here, who's the division manager. I'm on the board because I was named, I guess, the de facto Metro board member, and I don't have a vote on the board. I'm a non-voting member, but I am the Metro representative on the NECAT board, and so I essentially am responsible for providing feedback on the Metro side, what we can provide, and kind of the Metro rules and regulations that are sometimes difficult to kind of navigate, but hopefully between Chris and me and the rest of the Metro staff, we can navigate those and help you guys produce the shows that we want, that you want, that we all want. Hooray.
So the yay, John, yay. So the best news of all of that to me is we get to keep John in the family, right? Who better to represent Metro on the NECAT board than the person who probably knows more about this whole building and all of the things in it than anybody else. For any who don't know, NECAT has a board of 11 members. 10 of them are appointed by, a board of 12 members. 11 of them are appointed by the mayor and vote and sort of guide what we do here. They make sure I'm not putting money in my pocket or going to Florida or doing anything crazy. They unlike previous boards when we didn't need fundraising, back when we used to get to live and pay everything on the Comcast funds, this board is a fundraising board, and so they work closely with me to go out and get corporate dollars, individual private donor dollars, stuff like that to help us keep the doors open. So John is appointed to his role as the Metro representative, but he does not vote. And then that man is John's boss, right? That's Chris Singleton, and he's been absolutely fantastic in his role. The two of them help us understand what our technical needs are, and if we have a struggle, they help us figure it out. They also help me navigate Metro because I'm not a government employee. I'm a nonprofit employee here, and I don't necessarily understand all the pathways, but they help me with that, and thank you. So I know you all saw this woman join us up here on the front, this very smart lady. Do you want to introduce yourself and tell us, where you work and how you came to join the board and so forth?
Hi, everybody. I'm Akila Reed. I work at HCA and met this nice lady. They approached us for an opportunity to serve on a board for nonprofit, and it's a really big deal for HCA to be involved with nonprofits and organizations around Nashville, so they encourage us to serve. And I met this wonderful lady, and she opened and welcomed me with open arms, so I am here. And I also took a class for producing and did the class with Eric, yeah. So I have been there, I've done the training, so I'm glad you guys are putting in shows and putting in the work. We're excited to see what you guys bring.
Thank you.
Don't you guys love it when the board takes the classes to really see what it's all about? So I think up next is Katie Veglio.
Oh, hi. Hello, everybody. It's weird to talk in a microphone for 4 people. Whatever. Okay, so I just want to give you a few updates that we're doing here, some changes. We're constantly growing, constantly trying to find ways to give you all a better experience, to make our growing membership run smoothly here. And so just go through some things. If you have feedback, definitely give it to me as I go. Anything you think is a terrible idea, let us know. And if it's a great idea, please let us know that too. So beginning July 1, just as a cleaning tool, the TriCaster we're going to clean off more often. So that's where you record all your footage, and typically it's stored there. But we need to clean it off kind of every morning. So what we're asking is that please, in your shoot, allow time to take the footage with you when you go. And as a better option, you can bring in your own hard drive and record straight to your hard drive, and you don't have to store it on ours as you shoot. So if you have questions on how to do any of that, let me know, let Eric or Cynthia know, and they can talk you through the process of that. But go ahead. If you got my email, you probably saw that membership dues are going up $5 July 1. Producer, which I don't think they've been raised many years. I don't know ever. So we're just raising them a mere $5. $40 for technician and $80 for producer. Begins July 1. If you, I don't know if anybody here is on the has a membership due, but if you pay before July 1, you're on the old plan. Pay after Friday, $5 more. Okay. The editing class, if y'all are interested in editing, those of you who are editing yourself, we have shrunk it. It was 4 days, and we've got it down to 2 days. John Bragg, JB, our weekend, one of our weekend technicians, teaches the editing class. In 2 days, any weekend that you are available, let me know, and we will get you signed up for that weekend. And we try to tailor the class specifically to you. So what are you specifically interested in learning? What are you struggling with in editing? And it's a more of a one-on-one course. So get you some training there.
What's the price on that?
It's $75. And it's 2 hours on Saturday, 2 hours on Sunday. And we'll help you edit your own footage as well, too. Lately, we've had a lot of people, not a lot of people, but a handful of people submitting revisions to their shows. So they turn in a show, they watch it at home, and they're like, I don't really like that. I'm going to give you a different version of the same thing. We are happy to do that for you at a cost now, just because it's a lot of work to have to go in and re-encode everything and put it in redo the schedule and all of that. So if you want to submit a revision, you can for $20 per revision. So we encourage you to watch your episode as you are an audience member at home before you submit it, so that you know that it's exactly how you want it to be before you turn it into us and we share it with the world. A new thing that we are doing, which we hope will give more people an opportunity to fine-tune their skills here, is set up a practice day each month. So if you are a technician who wants to get your skill set a little more fine-tuned before you come in and help on an actual shoot, you can sign up for this practice day. You as a technician could book the studio for a 2-hour block and come in and practice. Producers can book the studio for a 2-hour block and either come in by yourself and sit at the TriCaster and figure things out, or bring in a crew, however you want. So it's just sort of a whole day dedicated to letting you all have the studio to make mistakes and to figure things out and play and try new things. And I think at the beginning of each month, we'll probably send out, hey, August's date is this, if y'all want to book it. Monday, September 26th, we'll be teaching a lighting class. Cynthia and Eric teach the basics of lighting in their class. This will just take it a little bit further for outdoor lighting, if you're shooting on location, if you're shooting here in the studio and you want some better lighting. That's sort of the first thing I look at in a show. You can tell the level of quality in a show based on the lighting real quick. So if you just want to polish that skill a little bit, that is a one-night class, and it'll be $30 Monday, September 26th. And you can sign up on our website.
Taught by you.
Taught by me. Because I love lighting. Those of you who do a show already, and those of you who will be doing one, so everybody in the room, great. I just want to make sure y'all are aware of the way that we schedule shows. These are hanging in the hallways everywhere, and I think we've sent them out, but and there's some handouts on the table over there if you want to take them with you. The basis of it is throughout the week, from Tuesday to Monday night, the following Monday night at midnight, we collect all the episodes. So if you think of, this is how I describe it, if you think of like a big pot sitting on my desk, come and drop your episodes in, and we don't touch them until Monday at midnight. Then we close the pot. Tuesday and Wednesday, when Cynthia's here, she takes all of the episodes that came in and schedules them for the following week. And so if you turn an episode, it's not immediately going to go on the air, and you can sort of base, I want this episode to run during this week because the girl who's on there, it's her birthday, and how exciting for her to be on the air on her birthday. You can plan that out based on this schedule. So if you have any questions about that, definitely ask Cynthia. She was the expert on that. And that's for the Access Nashville page, the Access Nashville channel. If you are arts and education, that is scheduled every weekend. So anything that comes in through the week is scheduled on Saturday and Sundays by our weekend technicians, Antoinette and JB. Cool. Okay. If you are becoming a producer as of this past year, production level 3 is a required class. If you are an older member, you probably didn't have to take that, but I would encourage you to come take it. Production level 3 teaches pre-production, and we spend a lot of time talking about how the studio runs, how it works to be a NECAT producer, and all the sort of ins and outs, rules, and nooks and crannies that go along with that, but also how to be a producer in general, how to plan your shoot better, so you have a smooth shoot when you're in here, you have a smooth shoot out in the world, and you've sort of thought through any problem that might come up and how to troubleshoot that problem on the fly, and you've left room for mistakes and left room for practice and all of that. So I would encourage you to come stay. It's a free class. It's a 2-night class, again, taught by me. But I think it's really fun, and it's not just for producers. If you have technicians who you want to have them see the process so that they understand your shoot a little better, I think it's good for them to come. So if you want to get registered for that, you can email me and I can sign you up. Production level 3. We're very creative with the naming around here. Yes. It's free. raise your hand if you know that we have a NECAT members Facebook group. Great, we have a NECAT, thank you, board. We have a NECAT members Facebook group, which I would encourage you all to join. It's a good way to just see what we have going on specifically for you. We do a lot of things for the community, but specifically for you, and to connect with other members, to bounce ideas off each other. We really want that to be a space for you all to have a place to connect.
And Katie, maybe talk about page versus group.
Yes. So NECAT has a business page where we push out anything that is going on with us, events that we're having, fundraisers, cool things that we're doing. This group is a private group. If you post in it, no one can see what you post but the people in the group. So it's a private group. You have to request to join, and anything that's in there is only seen by other NECAT members who have been approved to join. So your grandma 6 states away is not going to know what you're talking about in there.
Unless you join the group.
She could, yeah, she could request. We'd be happy to have her. Okay, so I think I want your thoughts on. Everyone here has taken the classes, and you have taken a level 1 class for 2 nights for $50, learning everything in this room, and you have taken a level 2 class for 2 nights for $50 in the control room. We have very large classes that are coming through here. We have more and more members, and we're trying to fine tune the way that we present the information to our students, and to get them into the door and onto making a show a little faster. So we're talking about, and we are going to try it for August and September, shrinking the 4-night technical part of the production. This is separate from the production level 3, which is a 2-night free class, pre-production. Level 1 and level 2, shrinking it from 4 nights over 2 weeks to 3 nights in 1 week. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It will look like Tuesday, the first night, all of the instruction part. You get all of the instruction in this room, all the instruction in the control room, cameras, audio board, TriCaster, lights, all of it, handed to you on day 1. Day 2, something like group work and sort of working with the cameras and doing little, not games, but little projects to get your hands on it and get working as a group. And then do the typical rotations like you have all done in class. And then at the end of 3 days, you are trained in this room and you are trained in that room and you're ready to go. And so we're going to try that in August and September, hopefully getting more people through class quicker. You as people who have taken it, or you I know who are sending people through and to get them trained, plus sign, minus sign, what do y'all think? Any additional thoughts? If you were like a brand new person coming to take the class, what are your thoughts on that?
I just wanted to let some of the new folks know that there's 2 different kind of producers. There's in-house producers, which most of you guys are, where you use all the beautiful NECAT equipment and new lights, new cameras. And then there's an outside producer, which is like myself, and basically you have all your own equipment, you do all your own stuff, and you don't use the studio. So I haven't taken those classes, and that's why, because I'm an outside producer. But it's still great to do, even if you decide to become an outside producer, because you do learn about all the different equipment and cameras if you're going to go buy them for yourself, which that's something I never did either. So I might want to think about that. But
I will say there's like a 0.5 producer or something halfway in between who, like Reggie, who took all the classes, and just so that he can use our equipment to go shoot out in the world. And he doesn't ever shoot his racing shows in the studio, thank God. But he does use our equipment to go out in the world. And so there's that sort of
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hybrid is a better word.
I didn't mean
0.5.
just in the studio. I meant, using your equipment. Yeah, true.
The only comment I'd have is I've talked to people about taking the classes, and there were some people that were interested in just standing behind a camera. They're not technical at all, and they're a little intimidated by the control room, and they said, I don't want anything to do with all that computer stuff. Mm-hmm. So they had the option just to take the level 1. And there's something psychological about, well, the class is only $50, but the class is $100. You know, there's a difference. If it was $99, well, that's okay, but there's $100. And going from 4 nights at 100, 2 nights at 50, And 3 nights to me sounds like a 75er, you know, since it's 25 a night. And that would be easier to sell to people that are on a crew rather than I'm asking people to volunteer for a show. And by the way, you have to pay $100. And I've got a couple that's coming that's $200. I love the idea of getting it all in 3 nights for people that would be going to 2 classes, 2 weeks. So just some thoughts both ways.
Good feedback. I like it.
Personally, I think those prices are wonderful because if you go out, I'm not putting down what you said, but if you do go out and research and take any kind of classes outside of NECAT Studio, you're going to be paying triple. If you went and got somebody to edit your stuff, I mean, it's $75 an hour, and that's the low end. And the reason I know that is when I first came to Nashville 14 years ago, I'd have to pay somebody every time I wanted my demo reels edited, and I mean, it was a nightmare. So teaching yourself editing is going to cost you or save you thousands of dollars. So I think your guys' prices on everything is pretty amazing. Yeah, it's very low. So if maybe you could find volunteers that are truly into it, because I think that they will be willing to pay that to learn such a wonderful skills on such great equipment. So that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Anyone else have a thought on the new class structure? Okay. So my next question for you all, which is a great segue, is I know that you have specifically, and I'm going to call you out, I don't mean to, but you have specifically said that finding crew would be hard for you if you were to, you know, get crew from here because you're an outside shoot. And other people have expressed that there is a concern with how to get enough crew in the studio and for their outside shoots. For the people in the room, do you feel like you struggle to get crew, that you are successful in getting crew? And I'd love to hear what works for you and what doesn't work for you on either platform, that you always have crew, you have no problem, or it's sometimes a struggle. Reggie, you wanted to say something, and you always have crew outside of thing. Yeah.
What I wanted to say about that is, like I said, when I first started, I volunteered on everybody's show. So I come back to them like the mafia and be like, you owe me one. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, honestly though, you know, I'm being silly, but I mean, that to me is the problem. You can go and work on, because I worked on a lot of people's show. I even got an award for, you know, most volunteers in a year. But it's like, the thing about it is, when you go back to those people and you're like, hey, I got a shoot coming. Oh, well, I'm busy and stuff like that. So now I really have people that I feel like is loyal to me, and I'm loyal to them. George, like he said, he works on my show. Anytime he calls me, I'm going to be there for him, because that's how he is with me, you know what I mean? And he lets you know he appreciates, you know what I mean? That's how we do. So it's like me, him, and Rhoda, it's like wherever we go, we all go together. We got shirts that we wear. I mean, it's kind of like college, you know what I mean? But it's like, hey, whatever works. And that to me, it's like doing unto others, you have them do unto you. You know what I mean? Just working on each other's show. Yeah. Why not? You know, people need to stop acting like I've made it. I'm Howard Cosell. You know, I mean, for real, we all are out here trying to learn from each other and do things together. So let's just, like on the playground, let's play together. You know what I mean? Let's just do it together.
That's awesome, Reggie.
Yeah, I'm
awesome.
sorry.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I hate to keep talking, but I came here because I have to. Okay, so here's my point. I am guilty of not reaching out to volunteers. I'll admit that. But part of the reason was because I am afraid of making the show go in a different direction. I do understand the fact that when people say I'm so busy, because, and that's why another reason I haven't asked volunteers, because I do feel it's right that if you came and helped me out on a show or whatever, that if you called me, I'd want to help you. But, you know, obviously we do this because we love it. We don't get paid. And a lot of times we're paying for people to download our show. So I'm working full time. I'm doing gigs. I do more than one job. And I am overwhelmed with having to keep up with the quota. And it's kind of like when songwriters write a song and they all say, okay, we're meeting at 4 o'clock on Tuesday to write a song. That drives me crazy. I can't do that because I'm such a creative person that I have to feel inspired. So when my show first started going, I was so gung-ho about it. I was just like, woo, I got all these great ideas. But then as time went on, and now I found myself, oh my God, just putting something up there and running the camera, like it wasn't my best work. And I was like, I can't do that just to meet quota. So, and that's when I said, okay, I'm at the point now where I have to make a decision. Either I stop doing it, or I reach out and get help, or maybe, with the grace of God.
I have an idea for you. Can I interrupt you and
Yeah,
share?
sure.
You just inspired me with an idea there. It sounds like to me you need a junior. You need a mentee. Not, you could be a mentor. You need one person who you can trust, who you can give your full vision, and you can tell them how important it is not to stray from that vision for you, and you deputize that person to find the crew, do all the legwork, do that stuff. So you don't have to trust 7 people. You just have to find one person and let them understand how much that means to you, how much that control means to you. And will you talk about our teenagers from the various schools and how this might be a source of?
Yeah. So we have kind of worked with the metro school system. They have academies, and 5 schools in Nashville have a broadcast academy, and these kids are interested in television, TV, film production. And they come here in groups of 25 from schools. So Pearl Cone comes, 25 kids over 4 days, and they learn all of production level 1, production level 2, how to operate all the equipment. And by the time they've left, all the students have touched and used all of the equipment, and they are excited. They love it here. They want to do things, but they are also teenagers who have a million other things going on. So making a show with 10 episodes is not something in their realm, but they do want to be here in the studio. And what we'd like is to find a way to put them and you all in the same room, so that you have crew here that maybe you didn't know that you had, and they may not have their own vision, but they are definitely good at saying, what do you want me to do? Let me do it. I will do this for you, because I just want to be involved. And so I think that they would be a really good resource. And part of the track I'm trying to go down here is, I guess, what would it take for you to get those volunteers, to use those volunteers, or how do you think that is the best way that you would go about reaching out to them? If you were like, okay, now I need crew, is there an easy way? Because we have a volunteer calendar, but nobody uses it. We have a volunteer list, but nobody really puts their name on it. And I don't know if we're just not publicizing it enough, or if we're making it difficult for y'all to get crew. But, I mean, some of y'all are getting crew because you are, on everybody's crew, and then you call in the favos. But, favos. So I just wanted to kind of get your thoughts. But we do have 25 times 5, whatever that is how many kids have come to take the, that's how many teens are in our membership right now. They have producer level memberships, and they are ready to make something, but they don't know. I mean, they're teens. They're not going to cold call producers,
so we could
and
just
be like, let me play. But yeah.
We could just get their numbers from you, basically.
Yeah, or if you want crew, we can sort of work with the schools because I don't know about giving out teens phone numbers.
I gotcha.
Yeah, but I feel like there's a way that we can connect you all, and we're trying to work that out here. But
You guys, if we had an event here and got a bunch of these teenagers in the room and invited current producers and technicians like yourselves, would you come and interact with them and sort of, feel them out, get a vibe for whether or not, I would like that kid. I could give that kid a shot. Would you do that? Would you guys turn out and interact with them?
Yeah, I mean, I would, as long as I wasn't working, I would
Yeah.
definitely come.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You would want to do that if you could.
I mean,
Dan.
Wondered about maybe like a show fair or something. Fair, where you had tables and people represented shows, and all volunteers, as long as more than 6 didn't show up.
Yeah.
And you could have people go around and explain the concept of the show, and volunteers say, yeah, I'd like to do that. I'd like to be part of that, or I don't want anything to do with that. And then you could sign up on a volunteer list.
I love that idea.
that's a fabulous idea. Welcome to the family.
Exactly.
Dan. I like that. We'll definitely work in. Any other thoughts on the volunteer? Okay. Great. So I will hand it back to you to introduce a board member, and then John's going to get up here, and we'd love to hear your equipment ideas.
Yep. So the other smart lady who you just saw sneak in up here is also a new board member. Perry, do you want to come introduce yourselves? The others have. We're not just singling you out. Just tell us what you do, how long you've been involved, and so forth.
Absolutely. Good afternoon or good evening. My name is Perry Dugard Owens. I'm the president and CEO of Dugard Communications here in Nashville, a PR firm where we work on several different clients in several different industries. I've been involved in the board for about a month. So literally have jumped in full feet in the fire and have enjoyed every minute of it. So I look forward to working with each of you and meeting you and interacting with you at the next job show fair, which I think, by the way, could be really cool, as well as if there was an online component, which I know, Katie, might be a little bit stressful, but adding that to the website perhaps for interaction and potentially broadcasting that past the students, even for others, so that there's an online piece to it. So maybe you can sign up that way. So that's my idea to add to your wonderful one. So nice to meet you all. Is that all I need to do? Thank you.
Thank you. I think that's it for us. John, you want to talk toys? Okay. Good.
Hi guys. So this is the part that I think is the most valuable for me and Chris and the rest of the Metro and technical staff and Cynthia and Eric, to get feedback from you guys, technical or maybe even otherwise. If you guys have suggestions, I think this is a good opportunity for everybody to kind of voice their opinion about what we need as an organization from your perspective, because you guys are the ones that we're trying to serve. You guys are the ones of the citizens who are this place exists for. So I'd like to hear some suggestions, technical or otherwise, on what you guys think we need in the studio and what we can potentially spend some capital money on. Big or small, there's no limit. We're just trying to pool some ideas together. So if anybody has any suggestions, now's the time. Yes.
I'll get the mic.
Go for it.
Back when I was doing this 20 years ago, I thought of, I didn't even know what it was called, the IFB, little earpiece that anchormen use on TV.
Right. Yeah.
And what we did is we set up a camcorder remote mic, and we just swapped it around where I put the mic in my ear, and it was invaluable. So the people in the control room could tell me, without a piece of paper, holding up finger, they could tell me what was going on, give me suggestions, speak to me, and I had that in my ear. That would be really great for the people on the camera.
Great suggestion. Yeah, that's really good.
They're not that. I've looked them up. They're not that expensive. Oh, you can get expensive ones, but they're not that expensive to hook in. And you can keep people updated on, you said the wrong thing, or this is coming up, or you need to cut this, or hey, your tie's crooked, or something like that.
Yeah, that's good.
It would help.
I like that.
Would 350 people using the same one be weird?
And the question from Trish was, would 350 people using the same one be weird? I think we could probably sanitize.
I think you can buy individual. You buy the setup, and then you can buy your earpiece.
Oh, you can get individual people can buy the earpiece, and then you just connect.
If you want to, unless you just like using somebody else's earpiece. I would buy my own. I'll buy my own.
That's good, though. I like that. Very good. Anybody else? George, let's hear it.
That is a good idea. I wear headphones when I do my show, so Reggie or Rhoda or whoever can say, hey, you didn't do that right, speak louder or whatever.
Right.
And that is a great idea.
Yeah, that would save
for people that didn't want to wear the headphones, which I don't mind. I have a suggestion. NECAT needs a radio station.
A radio station, okay.
Indeed.
And all right. What do you have anything else other than just radio? Like, what can you provide more details on what the radio station would be?
Well, I don't know. Just how they get on air.
Just get on the air and
have a radio station for Middle Tennessee.
All right, that's a good one. NECAT radio, I like it. All right, anybody else? Michelle, you had something to say earlier. What was it that you wanted to tell me earlier? You said, should I talk now or should I wait? You got it all out? All right. Anybody over here, Reggie, you got anything? Yeah.
One other thing, we were in here the other day and we had to move lights and we couldn't find, maybe they're here, extension cords?
Right. We've gotten that suggestion a lot, but yeah, I think that's
Okay.
a really good suggestion.
I was going to buy my own and bring, but
no, I think we definitely need to provide some more.
We were using the little power strips, and we plugged 2 lights into it, and they kept popping. So in the middle of the shoot, the lights would go off.
Yeah, and
you
that
can't
was
plug 2 of those into those.
The same circuit. Yeah. Yeah, that's just we just need more extension cables to get to all the different outlets in the studio. All right, here we go. Let's hear it.
I just wanted to say, like, even when you have equipment that you want to bring, and you might have because it's not much to choose from if you don't want to have the same set as everyone else, like set design. So you might want to bring a couch, but then you have to take one of those little carts and wheel it out there and get it. I mean, is it a way that we can come up with how we can? I mean, I know someone violated, the rules of the campus by coming up.
Yeah,
you know what I'm trying to say.
Every rule that we have has been violated.
So how can we just park down there and
greasing palms outside?
Right. I can't help myself, But no.
So what was your? I'm sorry.
How we can get equipment to the studio,
Right.
Because we can't drive.
Right. For those of you guys, we can't drive up on campus. We used to be able to drive our cars on campus and load in and load out, but that privilege has been revoked, unfortunately. So we're still in kind of load-in jail. So hopefully, maybe we can potentially get out in the future, but it's not looking good. Anybody else have any suggestions? I mean, I think this is an opportunity for everybody to get stuff out. Obviously, we don't have a big crowd, but at the same time, we definitely put into use a lot of people have suggestions, and we definitely take them. So, I mean, I think that the inner ear piece is a great suggestion. It's not something that's crazy expensive, so we definitely can price those and see what that would look like. Extension cables, obviously, that's no brainer. I was expecting more suggestions, but that's fine. We could go. One of the things, and I just want to mention this so that we can kind of all be on the same page if anybody's viewing at home, and obviously for you guys. And if those of you guys have been here when this has happened, it's not been good, so there's something that we need to fix. But we've had some issues with both the plumbing and the air conditioning in the building, and so we're definitely trying to kind of shore up those 2 big building service situations, just because obviously when either of those fail, all hell breaks loose, and that's not something that we want to happen while people are producing. So those are 2 kind of big ones that we're probably going to be looking into, but obviously the other things that have been suggested here we'll definitely also take a look at. Yes. On mic, please, Michelle Spaziano. Thank you very much.
Will we ever air in HD? You think?
That's a good question, and I think it's out of our hands. It's Comcast, and we're over. Chris and I are constantly, trying to answer that same question for Channel 3 that we work in, and I don't think any of us really knows the answer to that question. I think that right now it's looking like it's probably unlikely anytime soon, but I think that the more that HD becomes not just something that is the best and the biggest and best, but is becoming the standard. I think that it's hard for them to ignore. It's hard for Comcast to ignore the fact that we're not in HD, rather than saying, well, why do you need HD? It's like why don't we need HD at this point? Because HD is becoming the standard. So I think that I can't really say for certain whether we are or we're not at this point, but I think it's up to Comcast, and it's in the hands of people other than this room, unfortunately. All right. Yes, George, please. Thank you.
What part does Google going to play with NECAT when they get fired up?
Good question. So that's a really good question. So we are in talks with Google. Google is going to be running all 3 of the NECAT stations, and then also Channel 3. And so they will be installing their equipment here, and they will be broadcasting all 3 NECAT stations, Channel 19, Channel 9, and Channel 10. So yeah, we'll be on. And unfortunately, we will be in HD on Google. It'll be a 720p signal, so we will be in a lower tier for Google, which will be great. Okay, thank you guys very much. Appreciate it.
So unless I'm wrong, is that everything? That's everything. And I just want to close by saying everybody in this room and that room, because I can see Eric through the window in there, everybody in this room makes NECAT happen. Without you guys, we wouldn't have TV shows. Without these guys, we wouldn't have governance and money. Without me, you guys wouldn't know these guys. Without Katie, we would just, go live in the desert because she does everything. Without Cynthia and Eric, we wouldn't have the smarts and the technical ability to do any of this stuff. So thank you guys for making NECAT. See you next time.